Hello, welcome to a new video where we look at the new Spitfire audio library Hammers. And Spitfire Audio worked with a lot of composers, for example, Hauschka or Oliver Arnolds, and now they are working with Charlie Clouser. And Charlie Clouser composed the music for all the Saw movies, and now they released Hammers, so I've been very excited. This is the library, the interface, and as you can see, they didn't use Contact, they are using their own player. Hammers needs around, I guess, a 93 gigabyte. And now let's have a look at the sounds. So this has been just the ensemble, and the hits we got more. We've got the flames, roughs, and the roads. But there is much more. So let's check the first instrument, the bass drums. And here you can see the key mapping. There are different key mappings. You can see here are other key mappings than here, but the system is always the same. So let's check out from C1 to E1. On the white keys, we get the same samples. So it doesn't matter whether you play just on C1 or C and D, or C, D, and E. And the same 2 octaves higher, so you can play C3, D3, and E3. The same samples. So you can play with one hand, two hand at the same octave, or the left hand at C1 and the right hand at C3. And there's more at F1 or F3, you get the roll. And at C sharp and D sharp, we've got the rough and the flame. Sometimes they sound like one hit, and sometimes like a flame. And this system is going on and on, but at the basement you can see we've got more keys. So here we had the hits at the white keys, and now at F sharp, D sharp, and A sharp, and the black keys. So black keys and white keys are changing. This means here we got 2 different instruments. Next instrument. And you can see here are more different instruments. Here we got 2, 1, and 2, and here the same, and 1, 2, 3. And we got 6 velocity layers and 9 round robins. You can reduce it. So let's reduce it from 9 to 2, and then we need less memory. So now we've got 311 megabytes, and just now a little bit less. Let's go to the solo def and say just 2, and here just 2 again. Yeah, so here it doesn't matter. I guess there are other patches where you can see more difference. So that's been the bass drum. Let's go to the next instrument, the solos. And here I like the 4 players more. And let's have a look at the mixer. We deactivate the advanced version. Now we got close and far. But there is more. Let's activate advanced. Here we got mix 1, mix 2, mix 3. These are pre-mixed versions. Mix 1 is very natural. Mix 2 a little bit processed, and mix 3, well, you will hear it. And one crazy thing, you just can hear mix 1 or mix 2 or mix 3. That's okay for me. But the fader are always turned down. So that doesn't make sense for me. For me, it would be very nice to have the faders pulled up, because when I activate this one, I don't hear it. And yes, I can do this and this, but you can see it doesn't matter where the fader are, because you always can activate one. So mix 1. And there are another patches where you got more difference. So here is more. Now we got close. And the next one is the overheads. And room. Let's combine them. And now we can add more. So here are the pitch channels. Let's check out close. And now we choose the pitch version. And here is the sub. It's not very loud, and I would like to have the possibility to turn it up a lot, and not this way. So let's go further to the toms. And here we got a few versions. We got 6 solo, 2-player, 4-player, rollers, and the brushes. And let's have a look at the ruffs. Perhaps you want to have a shorter ruff. And then I play the ruff, and after this, the second key. And here is a special feature. It's called voice choking. So when I play the ruff and then I play another key, the ruff will be stopped and you can just hear the hit. It's like the hi-hat mode or solo hi-hat mode. When I dictate it, you hear I don't have a real end. I hear two different ends. So this is much better. Okay, let's hear what the two players sound in the mixer. There, now I got to pull up the fader up. That's what I don't like. Oh, fat. And the original. Second. And third. Such a great sound. So next instruments are the Rototoms. And let's check out the effects we got here. First, the reverb. You see, it's very dry. I always deactivate this reverb because I want to use my own reverb, and when I got a lot of instances using their own reverb, takes too much CPU, and then I can use the sense for every sound better than to do it here. But the reverb you can hear at all the patches sounding great. Next is a low pass filter. But why don't we have a high pass filter? Would be great too. For example, in libraries, Hans Zimmer, Percussion, Professional, we've got a low pass and a high pass, and here not. So next is reverse, and I can't activate it. What's going on? You've got to activate it here. Enable reverse, and then let's have a look at this part here. Now it needs more space. Let's deactivate it. Okay, now we hear the original. Reverse, 16th, 8th. And this is synced to the host tempo. That's very nice, but at the end, you hear the reverse transient. And for me, it always sounds like flip. I don't like this part. When I use reverse sounds like this, I always cut the last few milliseconds and use a fade out. And I would have to do it here too, record it, and then do some editings. The second thing is, it's nice to have some reverbs, but this is the reverse version for the whole patch. So let's play another key. So I can't say that all the sounds are playing forward, but just a few are played reverse. So every time I want to use this, I got to use another instance of hammers. So it's nice, it's okay to have, could be much better. Next is compress. Yeah, you get it. And normalize. What is normalize doing? So here at 100%, every sound is having the same volume, just the sound is changing. It can be useful not to be at 0, but perhaps 20%. When you got a track with a lot of sounds in it and you want to hear the lower sounds too. And you can go to here, to the top part, and say you want to use reverb and edit it, or you want to edit the compression, you can do it here. Yeah, so nothing special, but it's working. Now we've got the frame drums. And here I like the ruffs very much. So let's check the different mixes here too. The fader again. Takes too much time. And here is something special. Here we got a crushed version of the close signal. So let's listen to close. And now the crushed version. For me, sounds like a total different sound. Snare drum. Yeah, we got the room shot. And what I like here is the patch snares off. That sounds great. Let's check out the different mixes. Second, I always got this trap. Much more roomy. Let's deactivate the reverb. And mix number 1. Now, I guess we got 2 more, right? Yeah, one thing about the loading times. For me, it takes a lot of time. And at the contact, we've got batch resave. So we save the patches again, but they remember where all the samples are. So the loading times are much faster after battery save. And here, Spitfire Audio, you don't have the possibility to do this. I'm working with SSDs, and it takes longer than other libraries. Okay, so here are the darbukas. Let's have a look. We've got 5 different versions. And let's see how you can switch between them not using the mouse. For this, I go to the bass drums. And here are the 3 different bass drums. Here you can choose how you trigger the different sounds. So now we've chosen Keyswitch. Here is my second keyboard, and I can use this one using different key switches. Yeah, it's working. So we can use CC range. And here you see we've got the controller 32. Let's choose controller 29. Yeah, and let's say here we want to have the controller 0 to 50. And here's the crazy thing. I can switch with the controller to this one, but with the key switch to this one. So let's try it. I use the controller. Yes, now I want to go to the next one. I got to do this. And let's choose velocity range. So we say here, velocity range is 1 to 50. And, oh no, 1 to 50. Now here, you want to have velocity 2. So why do I have to change it everywhere? For me, it doesn't make sense. When I choose one option, I want to use it at every instrument. So here, velocity range and velocity range 2. From here, let's say 80 to 127. And now I do a mistake. Here is the velocity range 1 to 127 and 1 to 50. So when I play at low volume, what kind of instrument or patch will be chosen? And now I'm playing loud. This one is chosen. So I can do a lot of mistakes here, and I get to do this manually. Can take a lot of time. Yeah, I guess this one can be optimized. So you got more options. You can choose by MIDI channel, speed, program change, and host tempo. And we will see that it makes sense at the loops. Now the latest sound is the scrap. And funny, because I don't see keys here with the same color as here, but they're playing. Okay, now we go further to the loops. And all the loops are 8-bar loops. So listen to a few of them. Let's just the bass drum. Let's choose 90 BPM. And here's one special key, the F. So you can stop a loop. Now I play one loop. And stop it with the F. And here you can choose the different tempi. So here we got 70 BPM, 90, 110. Now it's always synced to the tempo. And you can see we've got 120. And let's check one thing. When I go to, let's say, 90 BPM, now we've chosen this one, because here the trigger is the house tempo. Here we got 1 to 79, 80 to 99, and so on. And now this one chooses always the best matching tempo. So when I don't want to use this, I got to deactivate this at every patch. So I want to hear 70 BPM at my tempo. Deactivate and deactivate. So I don't want to have, here are the key switches. Yeah, so this takes too much time. Okay, and now I can choose the tempo here and the loop here. So let's play 70 BPM at 120 BPM. Let's listen at 70 BPM. And can you hear the pitch is changing? And you can do it here. Here is the stretch mode. Default is retro pitch. It always takes some time. Now we take CPU friendly granular. It gets softer, so the transients are missing. Low elastic. Mid elastic. So for me, high elastic sounds like retro pitch. And let's choose 130 and pitch it down to 90. Yeah, and here we got sync to tempo, and we can turn this off too. Okay, so let's go to next loops. Now we've got the solos. Yeah, it's great. And the toms. What I like here is that we've got some toms playing at the same time, and sometimes toms are right and toms. Rototoms. That is really great. So let's try multiple. So all these loops are 8 bars long. So you have some variations in it. And this is what I really like. This makes sense to play the frame drums in real time or real life and have the loops. And now it's going deeper and deeper because you're playing 130 BPM at 90 BPM and deeper. Oh, okay. So can be great sound design. Nearly all instruments are here at loops, but not the snare. The snare is just here as single instruments, but not as loop or warps. Very great. And scrap. And here I would like to have more variations with different accents, like or the next and so on. For me, it sounds very similar. I would like to have more dynamics, but that's my own opinion. Yeah, and here is a special thing, the loop and here. But you can hear the sound changes. Why is it changing? Because I'm at the wrong tempo. So when I go to 110 BPM, it matches. But when I change the tempo, I'm playing 100 BPM loop at 90 BPM. And now it's played slower and at a lower pitch. But not. Yeah, now it's matching loop and. Strange. Why is it doing it right now? Ah, I got to do this. No. Let's do this. I guess it's being the same thing here. Again and again. So, yeah. Now it's working. So now I'm playing this loop 90 BPM at 100 BPM. And the last hit is lower than the loop. So it would be great to have here the end note at the same key or same pitch loop end as the loop. Sounds strange. Okay, so what are we having here? Yeah, and now comes my favorite, the warps. You see, we've got the loops here again. So Charlie Clouser took the loops and processed them in many ways. And we've got 12 signals, or here they are called warps. So, yeah, and you can activate multiple of them at the same time. Let's hear the second warp. And the fourth. Sixth one. Number 9. And these are just the bass drums. Number 10. And number 12. Awesome. So let's go further to the solos. And let's combine a few. Yeah, and what I would like to do is process them in different ways. So I would like to have warp 1 and use equalizer, use warp 3, use some distortion, and then I take warp 11 and add some delay. And you can't do it here because we don't have multiple audio outputs. When you want to do it, you have to use render in place, or you open multiple instances of hammers and activate just one warp and then do the processing at the inserts. But I would like to have multiple audio outs here. So let's go further. Here are the toms. And the Rototoms. Yeah, great. And here you could hear the different variations because it has been 8 bars. Snare drums. And last, scrap. Yeah, so this can make a lot of fun. I would like to have much more easier access to the different warps. At the contact libraries, you've got all the different patches that have a lot of different articulations inside, and then you have every articulation on its own patch. So it's easier to have access to them. Or try them, and tier 2. So every time I got to push fader and activate and deactivate, and you don't have mute or solo here. So I'm missing mute and solo. This is not mute because when I deactivate this, watch here. So it's removing samples. And so it takes time for loading in the samples. Not much, but it's taking time, and it's not mute. And what I would like to have at the loops here you've got bass drums and solos. It would be great to have at the first octave have some bass drum loops, and second some solos and some toms and some rototoms and frame drums and so on. And then you can play with all the different looped instruments. This would be awesome. So that's been Hammers by Spitfire Audio, a great sounding percussion library by Charlie Clouser. Not all the sounds are sounding like the Saw movies, but they didn't say it. That's just been my intention. And the sounds are all great. There are no mistakes or something like this. The loops for me are okay. Some of them are inspiring. I would like to have another mapping. And what I really fucking love are the warps. They are sounding outstanding. Great loops with great possibilities. I would like to have easier access, but the warp loops are sounding outstanding. So what's your opinion? Do you have this library? Did you write some music? How much do you like the sounds? Please leave a comment. And when you like this video, I would be very happy about a thumb up. See you the next time. Bye.